Welcome to United Talk TV. I'm your host, John Rue. We got an action-packed show today with a full guest list. We got the godfather of United Talk TV, Patso. We got the director of social media, Lee. We got Rax. We got Benita, and we got Ryan. So, yeah, we did it, ladies and gents. We finished third and got Champions League football against all odds, like the Avengers, whatever it takes. So let's start with you, Ryan. I mean, we've been getting a lot of stick from rival fans for celebrating finishing third. Just how important is it? I mean, what we've achieved this season.
Yeah, considering where we come from and where the season started and where we ended up, we have all the right to be happy and to celebrate. I mean, nobody thought we would actually finish third and we would get Champions League football. Everybody, I think even some of the fans wrote us off and thought we would finish in 6th, 7th. Oli has done a great job. He's turned the team around completely. He's gotten the players to start playing as a team. He's gotten the players to want to be at Man United right now. And I think that's one of the most important things. And for me, I couldn't care less what the other supporters think or could say. I'm proud to be a Man United supporter today, and I'll always be proud of it because we have accomplished something phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. And Rax, what do you think about?
So I think like what we used to over the last 10 years, we've been spoiled by, finishing third or fourth has not been a great achievement in the last 10 years. So I think a lot of fans...
10 years. Before Sir Alex, you're talking about Sir Alex.
Yeah. So I think, by our history, finishing third was always a disappointment. So I think maybe a lot of people feel that, why are you celebrating third? Because this was never United. But I think from where we were to where we are now, I think it's a very big difference in the team, even though some people are comparing points for points. Finishing third, I think, was a big achievement considering that we were 14 points behind Leicester at one point in time. So the team looks good. Whether we can celebrate it or not, I think we should. We should celebrate everything, considering what Champions League brings to a club.
It's our highest finish since Alex resigned. So yeah, I agree with you there. Benita, Charlie Nichols of Sky Sports gave United a rating of C+ in his season end ratings. He gave a rating for each club. And in fact, he criticized United, saying that we had a poor season. What grading would you give United? The season's rating.
I think honestly, from to echo the sentiments of Rax and Ryan, I mean, that's an A+ for me, especially from where we came from to where we are now and where we're going to go. The team's growth has been phenomenal. I don't think we should fault the team or kind of throw stones at them. I think that they did really well to recover. I think the passion, the drive, the ambition is there with the guys this season, towards the end of the season. So next season, I think we're gonna,
and happy
strike
to be
gold.
back in Champions League. Lee, your thoughts on the criticism we've been getting for celebrating third place?
Yeah, I think it's all a bit of sour grapes there. Everyone expected us to finish outside top 4. At the beginning of the season, they were all going 6th, 7th, some even saying that we're going to finish 8th. So I think, finishing third just left a bit of a sour taste in all the haters' mouths, especially towards the end where they could see that, the team, I think as the season progressed, the team was growing as well. So we came out a bit strong in the beginning of the season. And then we had a bit of a slump, but the team showed that fighting spirit, and I think that's what's grating them, is that when we were down and sort of out, they thought, that's it, it's the end of United, and we came back and we fought back, and I think that's the main thing that's grating everyone. I think it was a great achievement. Third is good. Champions League football. It also attracts new, different top-class players as well. So yeah, I think we've got all the reason to celebrate.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pat, do you have anything to add to what all the guys said?
No, I think everyone's got the spot on it. From where we were to where we are now, it's been a phenomenal change. And I think the only thing I could probably add to it is why United supporters are probably celebrating it so much now is because since Sir Alex was there, we've been used to having situations where we thought we were going to achieve something and we fail at the last minute. I mean, including this season, up in the Leicester game, I honestly thought we were going to blow it. Like, I thought Leicester were going to pull off a 1-0 win, and we were all going to be like, oh, shit, there we go again. United did exactly what we've always been doing since fucking Moyes took over. But, excuse my language. And then,
What's your language there, Pat?
yeah, excuse me, man. we get that penalty. We score the penalty. I lost my mind. I kicked the TV, the couch, almost like I kicked my kid, because we finally did it. We set out for a task and we achieved that task. You know what I mean? I mean, you just think back all the time. Every time we set something out since after Sir Alex, we never freaking achieved it. And yeah, we actually pulled it off because we achieved it.
Yeah, I mean, the critics laugh at us for playing Europa, but now when we're celebrating playing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they still have an issue with it. But, that's another story. I think in our previous video, we already discussed who's the player of the season, and but we never get to ask Ryan and Rax and Benita. So let's start with Ryan. Ryan, your player of the season?
Sorry. I will have to say Martial. For me, he improved his game.
Yeah, I agree. He improved
compared to starting off slow, and where he is today is 20 goals for the season, 17 in the Premier League. I mean, you have to give it to him.
I think he's quite one of the best number 9s in the league at the moment. Rax, player of the season?
If I had to look at the season as an achievement, I would have to go with Bruno because he's turned our season around. Even though he hasn't played the whole season, he was the turning point of us getting to Champions League.
Yeah, I agree. Benita, flop of the season?
Flop of the season.
Jeez,
I'm gonna. Well, flop of the season for me has to be Jesse. I mean, we had so much faith in that guy, and despite we understand that he's going through issues, and we are compassionate.
Yeah.
With that, but it's such a disappointment. Let down.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Flop of the season for me.
I think Jesse has been getting a lot of criticism this season. I don't know, probably most of it warranted. But Lee, what are your thoughts on Lingard? Does he have a future at the club?
Look, at the moment, right, if we have a whole lot of money to go buy a whole new bench, then possibly Lingard doesn't have a future at United. The reality is that we don't have all of that money to go and replace our entire bench. So players like Lingard, Pereira, although they get a lot of stick, will most likely still stay at the club. Basically, or the main reason is that we don't have the money to go out and replace them. We've got the youth coming in, but I don't think they have the experience to go out and play those games that we'll need them to play. So this season, I would say yes, Lingard's got a future at United, and maybe it's going to be his season to prove himself. He'll come out. Ole is obviously going to give him a lot more game time. This season, he hardly had any game time, so it was warranted, I guess, because his form wasn't there. But I think from what we see in the media and what we're hearing, Ole seems to have faith in Jesse. Jesse seems to have faith in himself, and he seems to be fighting for his position in the club. So let's see what happens. I think this season is going to be interesting to see if he can actually come back and do the business. If he can't, if he comes out this season and it's still, last season's Jesse Lingard, then obviously we can't keep defending the guy.
Yeah, and you make an important point there about squad depth. I mean, it showed towards the end of the season when the guys were getting tired, and they were knackered, and we were.
Yeah.
That's why it made for the nail biting finish to finish
Yeah.
third. So, which brings me to the next question. We got the season starts on September. What is it? Second week of September.
Second
So that's
week.
not long now. Sorry.
The second week. you're right.
12th of September.
Second week of September. So there's not much time. There won't be any preseason for training, and we got Europa coming in August. So now let me get back to maybe Ryan. Should we prioritize the Europa League and play full strength team, or should we rest the team in preparation of the Premier League? What do you think? Because
No,
we can see the team is clearly tired.
I say play full team. Man. That cup is going to be the cherry on top. We came this far. Don't rest. Play the guys. Win the cup. Come home with the cup.
Yeah.
The guys deserve that cup. And like I said previously, Oli needs that cup. Oli has done such a good job. This cup is just going to boost him, and he's going to give him the confidence that he needs for the next season. So we didn't get the FA Cup. We need to get it Europa, irrespective of what it is.
Yeah. Rax, what do you think? Because the players, just say we go for this cup. I mean, it would be nice to win a trophy, but then imagine the players slump at the start of the Premier League and we lose like a few games, like how our tired team plays. What do you think?
So I think that Europa is not one of the legs of a treble. So for me, I would use the Europa as a preseason because there is not going to be a chance for a preseason. This is the last and final chance we're going to have to be able to have our best 11 and the next 3 or 4 that have to come on, and we have to have that in place before the league starts. Once the league starts, there's no time to look for your best 11 and look for the 2 who are coming on or the 3 who are coming on, for example. That needs to be ironed out in Europa. Once you have a bad start to the season in the first 6 or 7 games, the chances of competing for a title or top 4 becomes very difficult.
Yeah, true. I got a question for Patso here. Patso, hypothetically speaking, you are Graham Souness. Like that movie
What?
Being John Malkovich. You are being Graham Souness.
Okay. Of all the people,
What
who
a-
seriously.
What are your thoughts on Paul Pogba and the season he's had?
Oh wow.
Oh my
Graham
god.
Souness.
Oh my god. Paul Pogba is good. So if I'm Graham Souness, what do I say? He can't pass. He can't score. He can't kick a ball. He can't hit
Henderson's
a
a better
ball.
player.
Henderson's a better
Don't talk too
player.
much about the haircuts.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Henderson.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Henderson. I mean, when you start with Paul Pogba, actually, I'm glad Ryan brought up Henderson, right? Because, Paul Pogba, because he's capable of playing anywhere in that midfield, right? He can be an attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder. He played the number 10 role to perfection at Juventus. He's at United, he's the number 6, right? He gets held to a double standard. So everyone compares him and say, well, he doesn't score, he hasn't got enough assists, he doesn't attack enough. And this season, he only scored 1 goal. That was against Villa. It was the only Premier League goal that he scored. But he's played majority of the season as a number 6, right? And if we think about this time before Bruno joined, he was really trying to do both jobs. He was starting
He was
the role
injured.
but before he got injured, he was starting as a number 6. And during the game, he's pushing forward the last minute to try to win us a goal. And, then people are saying he's not doing enough. In the meantime, the man's playing like 2 positions throughout the game. So I actually went and I checked out his stats, play a comparison with Jordan Henderson, yeah, right? Henderson played 30 games and Pogba played 16. Henderson got 4 goals, Pogba 1. Henderson 5 assists, Pogba 3, right? Bear in mind now, Henderson played almost double the amount of games.
Yeah.
Henderson was 9 clean sheets to Pogba's 4. And then when you look at the team play, Henderson had 1,800 passes and Pogba had 1,034 passes. Pogba's pass completion was 85% versus Henderson's 84%. Forward passes, Pogba was 310 versus Henderson's 541. And through balls, Pogba had 10 versus Henderson 7 in half the amount of games. So when you compare the stats to a position of a player that everyone says is the greatest midfielder that the Premier League's ever seen this year, Pogba's on par, if not better in some cases. So
And he won the World Cup.
and he won the World Cup. So you know what?
Yeah.
Graham Souness's last impression, I'm gonna just go take a knife and stab myself.
What's your
here.
language? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna stab
Oh, yeah.
myself, stab myself in the eye or something, because that's what Graham Souness should
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Gents, I seem to have run out of questions. If you see my notes here, I just got a picture of a monster I drew. Yeah.
I think
Is that Michael
I
Owen?
think the question
Yeah,
about
that's Michael Owen.
Pogba comes
Rux.
to comparison. I think the question about Paul Pogba comes to the question of his ability versus expectation. And I think a lot of people have that expectation versus ability, and they don't understand the position that he's playing. And like Pats was saying, is half the season he's playing two positions. So how do you fill two positions and have the expectation of a goal scorer versus someone who's going to have 10 assists or 12 assists in the season versus somebody who's going to make 2,000 passes? So I think it's very difficult. Maybe we'll see a different Paul Pogba. With Bruno, you can already see the difference in the play with Bruno. But maybe next season we'll see something different from him. Maybe we'll see him in a more advanced position.
Yeah. I still think Pogba is still not playing to his full advantage, even though Bruno is there. If you look at Pogba when he played for Juventus, he was a completely different monster altogether. Even when he played for United Youth, he was a completely different player.
Yeah, look,
He's
even
got-
with like you're saying with Bruno there, Pogba has still been playing very deep.
Exactly.
He hasn't
Way
been
too
pushing all the way forward. If we look at late last season, when when Ole took over mid-season or whatever, it completely changed Pogba's game, because Pogba went from everyone complaining to him being our main goal scorer and creator last season towards the end. So, now with Bruno, it's sort of taken that responsibility away. Look, Pogba was injured, so he hasn't been playing. But Bruno's taken that responsibility of the goal scorer and creator away from Pogba. So maybe his job is now to sit, just a little bit deeper to get those balls overthrough to Bruno. But next season, if we get a player, if we do get another defensive midfielder, maybe Pogba will push forward. If we get another creative midfielder, maybe Pogba will take the position of Matic. So it all depends. You know what happens. He can play both roles, as Patso was saying.
Yeah, I'd like to see Pogba fight it out with Bruno for that that attacking midfielder role, the creator role.
That number 8.
Yeah, the number 8 role.
I think he's a waste. I think it's a waste to have him sitting so far back where he can't affect the game.
Yeah.
If you guys can remember that game against City, he tore that defense up.
Yeah.
Single-handedly, he tore that defense up, and that's what it man is capable of doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like brute speed and brute strength or anything like that. He's got so much skill and flair about him. He can just unlock it. The way he can turn a ball, his control of the ball is like spectacular. When he's in the mood, right? But I mean, like, he's got to have that opportunity more often in games. That's my view.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bit of Cantona and Paul Scholes in him. If you look at him, the vision of crossing the ball and taking on players.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's that vision that he's got, and he's got the skill to match the vision. So he sees the ball, he sees the pass, and he can make the pass. Some guys see the pass, they don't have the ability to make it. Where he's got the ability to see the pass and make the pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think in a defensive role, he's not aggressive enough. So he may tend to lose the ball more often than not.
Completely agree there, because I mean, when he's under pressure and they press him, then he does lose the ball. I was just going to say, I mean, I agree with most of you guys' points. He can play number 10 further up, and we saw Bruno towards the end of the season and hitting passes that weren't coming through. So maybe like when we bring off Bruno, then Pogba can go into number 10 and bring another guy. Maybe if we're late in games. But I'm out of questions. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss besides Pogba? Bonita, what's on your mind? Don't worry, we can edit it out after.
I guess what are your thoughts? Who do you think we should get? What do you think the team lacks? I mean, we made top 4. What do you think is gonna set us one step further to finish top 2?
Here's a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think we'll be able to challenge for the title next season?
I think if we get a strong enough backline, I think it's a strong possibility. And like Rax pointed out, if we use Europa as a preseason, I think if we get a strong top 11, I don't see why we can't.
The
I
gap
think
is
Liverpool's a one-hit wonder.
I don't know so much about challenging for top 4 maybe, but for the title, when I look at what's on the bench, our first 11 is good, but when that first 11 doesn't affect change in a game, what I see coming off the bench is not very impressive. Like, we've got McTominay, we've got Fred. Yes, they can play those positions, but can they affect change in a game? I don't think so.
I think you
Yeah,
need to
that's-
believe, Rax.
I
You
do,
gotta have
I
that
do believe. but
Hashtag believe.
Sometimes you gotta be a realist. Yeah. When you look at clubs like City, for example, City have a
Yeah.
whole first team on the bench.
and
And
Well,
they-
considering that next year you're gonna have 5 substitutes, you can change 5 players on the team. That's almost half
they
the
can
team.
change
half
a whole
the
new
team.
team. Sati,
Yeah.
yeah.
True, changes the whole dynamic.
Patso, you think we can challenge for the title next season?
I don't know. I think we're a few players short. Like, I think we do need to invest a bit more into the squad. I mean, stranger things have happened, but it's just like all the other teams around us are investing as much. There's going to be lots of challenges that will come from Chelsea next year. City, we know what checkbook manager is going to do. He'll probably buy about 50 more players or something. Liverpool, they will. I mean, their same team will be hungry to defend what they've got, and their manager believes they've got a lot of strong youth players that he wants to promote. And I think you have to pay attention to what he's saying, because he's proven that at the moment he's probably is the best manager in the league. So he obviously does know what he's doing, and they will be strong. I think the board has to back Ole. If Ole thinks he needs a few more signings, they just have to back him, and they've got to get his signings, because he's sort of proven to us that he can do the job. But obviously now he needs to be back properly to do the job properly.
And what do
Yeah.
you guys think about the 4 youth players that we've got coming through the ranks? So we've got the likes of Ethan Laird, we've got Hannibal, Medjbury, we've got Chong, and we've got Ghana that look like they'll be coming through into the first team.
And
Do you
Mason,
think look, Mason's already there. He's a given, right?
Okay.
So he's a given that he'll be there in the squad. I think he's already cemented his place in the
cemented his
first,
spot.
in
I
the
think
starting
in that first
11.
11.
So when I say 4, it's taking into consideration Mason's already there. So those 4 players, seem to be there's a lot of hype about them, and there's a lot of talk coming that these players are really, really good. We've seen Ghana play. From what we've seen, he's been good. We've seen Ethan Laird. Ethan Laird has been great.
Hype is
Hannibal,
never
we
good
haven't seen
for-
him in the first team yet, and Chong we've seen.
Yeah, hype
We've
is
seen the
never good for-
potential.
Hype is never good for young players.
That's
Agreed.
look. There was a lot of hype about Mason, and I guess he was
That's
one of
That's the one. But I mean, there was
You
hype
know?
about Januzaj. There was hype about.
Nah, for sure. I
yeah.
think we had that conversation about Greenwood to say that, he was one of those that we haven't seen something like Himson's gigs,
Yeah.
which has been a very long time. So look, I think if those 4 youth players come through, and they do well, and they stand up to the hype, then we possibly look. I wouldn't say challenging, but it all depends on how the other clubs are playing as well. Look, if Liverpool and City have seasons like they had in the last 2 seasons, it might be hard to challenge. But if they're a little bit off their game, and slip up a little bit, who knows what we could achieve.
Yeah. Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, what are the next steps for Man United? How can we build on this third place? Do you think we can challenge for the title, or is it
Look,
another step?
No, we're going in the right direction. We're obviously going to have to fill positions. Defensively, we're going to need a defender to come in. Centre back, we're probably going to need another holding midfielder to come in as well, and an attacker. Those 3 positions, I think, is the most critical. And I'm sure if Oli can get the signings that he wants, I don't see why we can't compete. Honestly.
So Ryan, quick one, right? You mentioned 3. So let's say there's Jimenez rumors are true, right? We get Jimenez, Sancho, Grealish. How does that look?
Need a defender. Right?
We still need to look the defense. I still think Harry Maguire and Lindelof can do the job.
Yeah.
I still think they can. If you think about it, it's Maguire's first full season with United. And
And he's
Lindelof is a good
already.
player. Yeah, Lindelof is a very good player. He reads the game very, very well. He makes, yes, now and then he's making mistakes. But then also you must look at it. He's always covering up. Shaw goes up, he's always covering. Shaw is never, ever coming back in time to cover up. He messes up. So I think the defense, we can still get away with it. Because our midfield is so strong. Our midfield and our kicking is so strong. We can definitely get away with it. Well, if those three players come, our bench is going to be strong. Grealish is not gonna just walk into the team because he's gonna be fighting Bruno for that position.
Definitely.
And Jimenez as well. He's gonna fight Martial, which is gonna. I mean, Martial and Rashford is already competing. That's why those two guys are fighting the way it is. Now you got 4 strikers that's competing for the same position.
And you must know, just if Sancho comes in, he's also going to be fighting for goals. So they're all going to be competing with each other.
Exactly.
You know, and we need that competition.
We're going to be sitting the same. I'm not saying comparing them, but we're going to be sitting with 99. Class with 99, we had Oli that was hungry, and every time he came off the bench, he scored.
He was scoring, yeah.
Exactly.
You guys are talking about defense and United's defense. What are thoughts on De Gea next season going forward? Thoughts on him this season?
That's a big question. Yeah.
I think if Henderson comes back,
I
the
mean-
two of them need to fight it out for that position.
You think Henderson will want to come and fight with a position, or he wants to come and be number one? That's what he keeps on saying.
I think he wants to come to be number one. He wants a better contract. I mean, as a player at that age, wouldn't you want to move to be playing first team football? Knowing the potential that you've got potential to be England's number one as well.
Yeah, he's playing,
considering that the Euros are coming.
You know
Would you
what's
really
my,
want to go to a club to sit on a bench?
You know what's my worry there? Is Ben Foster. I keep on having flashbacks of Ben Foster. That season when he became United's number one, he was a brilliant goalkeeper, but the pressure. Playing for Sheffield and playing for United is completely different. Because you must command, you need to command that defense. As a goalkeeper, you need to command that defense.
Yeah.
And De Gea didn't have a good season.
I think the competition would be good for De Gea.
Yeah.
To improve his game, to know that there is pressure for him to lose that position. For him
I
to lose a
personally
number one. Not necessarily to make Henderson number one.
Yeah, I personally don't think that any player can demand being
First team.
first team. You can't, say, yeah, I'll come to you on condition that I'm in the first team all the time.
That's
I think you need to come to the
100%
you need to come to the club. You need to come to the club because you want to come to the club, and you need to fight for your position like any player. If Sancho comes to the club, I don't think he's gonna walk in, or even he shouldn't walk in. He should also be fighting for that position because Greenwood's been phenomenal. So how can you just bench Greenwood all of a sudden because this guy comes in? Same like De Gea. He's been for the last few seasons, De Gea has been like our rock there at the back. You know, without him, we would probably been way lower down in the past few seasons. I mean, the stats alone show it, that now he's our most clean sheets in the Premier League. So how do you bench a player like that just because someone else says, I'll come on condition you make me number one?
Yeah, and Don Hutchison said, sorry, just one comment. Don Hutchison, who usually talks rubbish, but he said one good comment when they were discussing this the other day. He said the difference between Dean Henderson playing at Sheffield and De Gea playing at Man United is De Gea, every time he makes one mistake, it'll be scrutinized by the world media. Dean Henderson, he makes a mistake, nobody remembers it, nobody reports on it, or everything. So, it's coming back to Ryan's comment, it's a completely different bag of apples playing for Man United.
But Drew, look, and we've got about 6 minutes left in the call, right, Drew? But I think what he said about De Gea, you can apply to any United player and anybody who plays for United. Like when you sit back and you look at the season in the whole, and you actually analyze the stats, etc., a lot of our players performed actually above average, But it would be that one mistake or that one game where they didn't score the one goal that just seems to sit in everybody's mind because of the scrutiny the club gets from the media. And we start thinking that our players are not good enough. I mean, Maguire played every minute of the Premier League.
No,
Every single minute. You know, that's a we have. When else did we have a centre back play every single minute of the game?
Yeah.
Every single minute of the season. Never.
Gary Pallister.
Pallister, that's
Gary
Pallister.
Pallister. Gary Pallister. That's insane. You know what I mean? It's insane. So he's a very good defender, but because he cost us 80 million, but a bar more than Van Dijk, and Van Dijk was in the Champions League winning team and a Championship winning team. Suddenly, Harry Maguire is like the worst defender in the world. You know? But that's what happens when you play for United. So
that's the thing. Any player that
So,
comes,
Patso, would that comment? Don't you think then our recruitment should be handled in maybe a slightly different way? And instead of looking at talent and stats, we should also include mindset and abilities of players to be able to make a fit into the team.
I think
that's what
what
Ole
I
said.
think that's what
That's what
Ole
Ole said.
said.
That's what he's doing. That's what he wants. He wants
And
players
that's-
who fit the United mentality. He said it all along.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
I
said
think,
it all along.
gents, we almost finished here. Any closing comments from the guys? Happy to be
Thanks for having me on the
finished.
show.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
Rax. Nice picture behind there. Maybe lower it, but next time. Benita, closing comments?
No, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Looking forward to a great season in
Next
September.
season.
Yeah. Looking forward to a good fantasy Premier Football League
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'm hopeless at Fantasy League.
But
Yeah, me too.
We'll do a show about fantasy.
Relegation
We'll do a
battle.
show about fantasy.
sorry, Pato.
Relegation
Yeah.
battle. That's hilarious.
No,
Pato,
no.
you're saying something?
I'm just here to say, like, thanks to Rax and Benita for joining us.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know that they're going to be doing another show for us soon. We're going to probably be Ryan Lee show, Rax, Benita, and somebody else. We're going to look at the fitness aspects of the game. You know, get a bit more technical as to what these players go through. I'm
that's
obviously going to stay
yeah.
out of that conversation because I know
Yeah,
nothing about
same.
it.
Same.
We're going to leave it to the rest of you to run that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
no problem.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so thanks for watching to our thousands of viewers. Hit like and subscribe, even if you don't like it, or hit dislike, but hit subscribe. Thanks. Cheers.
Thanks, Ru.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stop
guys.
recording.